Hey guys, Gemma from ASD Rocks. Something really interesting happened yesterday, and I think it's really worth putting on here because it's going to make a massive difference to a lot of parents or carers who are at the beginning of a diagnosis or have young children, especially non-verbal children, children who have eating issues, you know, all those sorts of things. And hope is sometimes so far away. So yesterday, I took Beau with me. I didn't want him to spend the whole day. He's been on holidays now for a little while, and I didn't want him to spend an entire week at home. So I dragged the poor kid out with me. And as a reward, I took him to his favourite cafe. Silly saying favourite cafe. One of his selected cafes that he actually will go to. And I said I'd get him some fries. Now, Beau is a shoestring fry fan. And a friend of mine actually met us there, Stephen. He came down to the cafe. And so I ordered a sort of smoothie thing for myself and ordered fries for Beau. And the fries came out, and they weren't the normal fries. They were big, thick, sort of fat, chunky ones. And Beau did his usual sort of face, his, you know. And instantly inside me, my stomach flipped. And I said, oh, they're different. And the waitress said, oh yeah, they're just different today. You know, they're just fat chips today. And I, you know, not knowing what kind of absolute havoc can be caused by something so small. And I looked at Beau with like bated breath, literally with bated breath. And I was like, you know, because we've been training him to have different fries, so at home and in certain places, but you know, you just never know how it's going to go. And he was like, oh yeah, no, that's, you know, he said, yeah, I'll eat them. It's not what I wanted or expected, but I'll eat them. And I was thrust into this almost PTSD world. And I started saying to Stephen, you know, I cannot believe how far we've come. Had it been just 5 years ago, if that had have happened, it would have caused a complete breakdown in everything. So we would have said, if that had happened, we probably would have put the fries in a takeaway for Finn to have later. We all would have got up and left. No one would have had what they wanted. It would have caused complete disruption to the to us going out. And then we probably would have spent the next, you know, hour or so walking up and down the shopping strip trying to find a cafe that served shoestring fries, because we had told Beau that we were going out to get shoestring fries. So, or just fries. And in his idea, there's only one type in his mind. And I just, you know, I was sort of thrust into this world where what it used to be like, how much things have progressed, how much things have changed, how flexible he is now compared to, you know, such a short time ago, where serving fries that looked even in the slightest bit different would have completely thrown everybody in the family out. You know, there's no way he would have accepted it. And yeah, we would have spent the whole time, and if we couldn't find shoestring fries for him in that shopping, in the shopping strip, then we would have gone somewhere else to find it, because we had made a commitment to him, you know, just with one simple blasé comment saying, hey, you know, we'll go out and get you some fries, and he'd be like, yep, that's great, and then we didn't, and therefore not fulfilling our promise, and therefore causing trust issues. You know, people don't realize the depth of how significant it is. It's not just a kid not getting what they expected, but you know, the next time that I would have said, hey, we'll go out and get fries, he would have distrusted me, and he would have possibly chosen not to come out with us. You know, he would have wanted to stay home, or not wanted to have been disappointed, and therefore it would have increased how much time he spent at home, and you know, decreased his ability to come out with us as a family or with me. You know, the trust is, you have to, you basically, if you promise something, or if you offer something, you really need to make sure that you follow through with that, because the trust that they have, then it really filters on. You know, you may forget, but often our kids never do. You know, and they will, there are some kids with ASD that have absolute memories like recording machines. You can't, you know, they'll tell you exactly what you said on this day, you know, down to each breath and pause that you took. And if you've got a kid that has that kind of recall, following through with your promises about, oh, you know, we're just good, and it doesn't seem like a promise to you, because often when we say to our kids, oh, you know, let's go down to wherever, and then they've run out, you know, typical kids are just like, oh, you know, cruisy, they can adjust, and they can, you know, it's not a big deal for them, they can find something else that they eat. But Beau couldn't, he wouldn't and he couldn't, and if we didn't fulfill what we'd said we'd done, he just wouldn't have come out again. And yesterday they just popped this bowl of fries on the table, these big, thick, sort of chunky fries, and you know, he just made his way through them. And I just, you know, I find myself always saying to people, as much as I possibly can, I remember when we said that, you know, people would say, oh gosh, I wish I could get my kid into a suit. I've had huge amounts of comments with Beau going into this suit. You've got to remember, this is his first ever suit. He's 17. And you know, if you watch the interview with him, he really didn't even understand the concept of what a suit was, even though he's seen his brother get so super dressed up. You know, people have been commenting and saying, oh, I wish I could get my kid into a suit, or do you have any, you know, helpful suggestions? My child will only wear this or this or this. And it's the same thing. All of this is about slow exposure. You know, there's this term, it won't happen overnight, but it will happen. I think if you've got kids that are young, especially in that one, you know, however many months, whatever, 1 to 7 age bracket, they're so, you know, you can work so well. This is that early intervention with them. And then from 7 to 10, you know, you're refining those things. You implant, you know, these sort of things where you want them to try and have a variety of foods, or you want them to become more verbal. These, you know, working on those life skills things, and thinking that it's never ever going to get better, and it's never ever going to change. And I know I was there. I know I was there. And so that's why I make these videos, because 17 years down the track, if you had said to me 5 years ago that someone would have served Bo a bowl of fries, even if one of the therapists had said, you know what, in 5 years, I'll bet you we can get Bo eating a bowl of fries that don't look exactly how they should in his mind, I would have been hopeful, but honestly, I would not have believed them. I just wouldn't have believed them. So I really recommend you guys, again, try to get on to the playlist where it's like a, you know, early interventions playlist that I've got up, or a 0 to 2 playlist that I've got up, or and take a look at how severe Bo really was, how far he has come with a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week program. And I know that sounds like a lot, but that's just parenting in truth. Honestly, they're with us, you know, 24 hours, 7 days a week. If you're lucky, you find a special school, but you're still working with that school on the things that, you know, you want to have changed. And then you bring that home in between each speech therapy session, in between each occupational therapy session. You're working on what they taught you during that session to get to the next one. So I hope this has brought a little bit of hope to some of you, because he has come so far. And really yesterday, just the smallest thing like this bowl of fries threw me into remembering just how limited our life was, and how far he has come. So keep hope. Don't give up. Never give up on your kids. And I promise you that everything you put into that kid will pay off in some way or another. It really will. So good luck, guys. ASD rocks.